Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnana Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namam. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasishtha in Nirvana Prakarana Purvardha, the vision that all this is Brahman. The teaching is giving you insight into the practice of affirmation. Allow your mind to come to relaxed state. And during that state, open your vision, what's known as affirmation. Create a visualization. Visualization, the term itself is allegorical. Simple point to understand. Now, figure out aham. I am. The most interesting thing in your whole personality is your I am. So, in a very relaxed state, bring that question, I am. Who am I? But don't wait for too much of an answer. Create affirmations. And how does that follow? It will. Sage Vasishtha is giving these teachings to Lord Rama. I adore that self, which is like the ever-risen sun, which is beyond all limitations, which is the underlying reality behind waking, dream, and deep sleep states. You have to be backed up by study of scriptures under guidance of Guru and your daily sadhana. When you have certain degree of purity within your mind, affirmation becomes very easy, and the practice of affirmation accelerates your spiritual progress. If you can't even visualize what your goal is, how can you move towards it? You see the Kailasha mountain peak from a distance, though you have to climb many hills. But the view that you are seeing it clearly, that view is called visualization. You have not gone there, but you have the full view. And full view again has its own progressive movement. Keeping that in view, this is how your understanding must develop. Instead of your mind saying, I am miserable, I am bad karmas, so many uncertainties, problems, and etc., etc. Just like you go to sleep, you throw away all that and it doesn't bother you at all. Create by your own will a certain duration of your time So much so it becomes an unconscious habit if you go on practicing it. Without going into details in that direction, come to the main topic. So this is how you must assert. I am beyond all limitations. I am like ever-risen sun. Ever-risen sun means there is no rising and setting. Yesterday I was Brahman. Today I can't. So no such rising and setting. But I'm ever risen, ever present, unchanging self, which is beyond all limitations. Limitations are time, space, causation, which is the underlying reality behind waking, dream, and deep sleep states. Waking, dream, deep sleep states are created by your mental projections, chitta. And that point we have talked many times. Whatever you see in a cinema show, all the stages, waking reality, dream experience, deep sleep, all these are created by vrittis of the mind. And the entire mindset is pure consciousness, chit. I adore the self, which is heat in fire. Now coming to a more general, easier affirmation. Everyone has experienced the role of fire in your life. Can't live without fire. Some temperature has to be there in your body. And fire, without that you can't have your tea. And without fire, all this life will not flourish. So I am that self, which is heat in fire, coolness in ice, nourishment in food, nectar, nectarine luminosity in the moon, and blackness in the night. And unwittingly you have to become a poet if you do affirmation, because it is the highest form of poetry. The whole universe is no longer a topic of distress, but is a topic of universe, unique verse. Because when you see it all, self appearing as all, Brahman appearing as all this, I adore the self for which the thought waves of the mind have ceased to exist. Your experience is in and through the mind, but it is giving you a visualization. Same water that refracts the reflection of the sun, when calms down, it reveals the sun. So same mind, having been led through your sadhana, your shavana, manana, nididhyasana, your practice of samadhi, led by all these, the same mind, even before you succeed in many other steps, your mind is able to capture the glimpse of what the goal is. And it puts in the mental language, I am that self which is free of all karmas, which is devoid of anger and agitation. Mind is addicted to anger and agitation. It's powerful addictions. For the masses, this is perfectly normal. You don't find anybody angry for 1 or 2 days. Something has gone wrong. I'm joking, but it's simple to understand. It's a lifelong project in every individual to face your challenges but not be agitated, not by anger or agitation. But then generally the first reaction is agitation, something you don't like, and even without studying properly, you get agitated. And that agitation has another name, anger. Anger doesn't always mean having red eyes and teeth jumping out of the lips. I have indeed realized that self, which enfolds the 3 states of waking, dream, and deep sleep. Bring to your mind, I am beyond. In fact, I have enfolded the physical, the astral or subtle, and the causal. 3 lokas. Bhur Bhuva Swa. I'm Agastya. Practice 3 bandhas. And you create that 3 bandhas of Hatha Yoga. Mental visualization that you have grabbed the physical world in 1 sip, the subtle world of your sentiments with another sip, and the 3rd world of your intellectual world. And don't think it's very difficult. In sleep, you do that to some extent. But now you are doing it with your own awareness and your will. I have realized that self from which this world proceeds, by which it is sustained, unto which it dissolves. This is the definition of Brahman. Brahman is that Upanishads have brought this statement. From which this world proceeds. Through Maya of Brahman, the world comes to exist. And by which all this is sustained, unto which it all dissolves. That's Brahman, the Absolute. And that's I am. I have attained that self, who is the supreme friend. Now at the same time, when you are practicing this, your heart tends to become dry. There's nothing loving or warm feeling about it. So this is just Brahman. Now supplement that, because that visualization is not complete if your heart does not share the visualization. If your heart feels thrilled by the visualization. And how do you get thrilled? Friendly feeling. very close-knit feeling of mother and a baby, friends, and Madhurya Bhav as Radha and Krishna. All depends upon which state you are. So, that Supreme Self is the supreme friend who is the ultimate limit of happiness or bliss, who is the source of all the joys of the world. Lonely people, feeling desolate, become so fulfilled by meeting a great friend. It's allegorical, even though it is not a human relation, this is just allegorical. Similarly, God is the highest, greatest friend. When the breeze of friendly sentiment enters your heart, you become completely relaxed. Param Tripti, you are led to supreme fulfillment. I have attained that self who is the ocean of love, sporting with its waves and whirlpools. The attainment of self is like you are diving in the ocean of love, ocean of nectar. I have realized the self who is like the unflinching flame of light. Another simile, light gives you the best delight in your heart. No one wants to live in darkness. But light is constantly flinching. Yesterday you had better light, today you have lesser. And light goes on waxing and waning. But the essential nature of I am is light of lights. That's unflinching. No rising or setting. No waxing or waning. Undistracted by the gusty winds of desires. What makes the light fluctuate? Your desires. You are dependent on the world of your desire. And that's because of ignorance, because you don't need that dependence. The sky doesn't need to depend upon clouds. Sun doesn't need to depend upon all the reflections and the rainbows. Yourself doesn't need to depend upon the desires of your mind. Because all the desires that your mind holds, they are in the realm of illusion. You may ask them, what about the desire for attaining liberation? Now, the message is, it is the best desire you can hold. And you try to promote that desire with the understanding that when you succeed, your desire will be on fire. In other words, when you succeed, your entire mind is like a cloud that has permitted the rays of the sun. And if the cloud has succeeded in letting the sun pass through, then where is the cloud going? It vanishes. Manonash. And that's liberation. That Brahman is ever-present reality. Brahman does not rise or set. O Rama, we sages adore that nectar of wisdom, which is different from the nectar that arose while churning the ocean in ancient times. Different from the nectar that was stolen by Garuda. The different stories where the whole story of Amrit Manthan, churning the ocean, and thereby nectar was brought up, and gods were given nectar, and demons were cheated. They were not given nectar. They were deluded by drinks. But that's an allegorical story. They are nectar that leads to relative immortality. Because even after taking nectar, etc., you have the story and you have the scriptures telling you that even Brahma comes to an end. All the gods, they terminate and another set of gods commence in another creation. So the mortality that we are referring to is only a relative way of describing intensity of pleasure. Pleasure that comes and goes so quick. But in astral plane, the pleasure stays. Because it's not depending upon your weak nerves. That pleasure has, because that pleasure is experienced in between, after death, before you come to get into another embodiment, in between you have no body. Body restricts your experience. No one can become too happy. Suddenly, if that is so, it is dangerous. Too shocking news, that also is dangerous. But if you are in Swarga, that question doesn't arise, because you are not limited by body. So your mind experiences intensity of pleasure, which is not possible in embodiment. Likewise, your mind experiences intensity of hell, led by negative karma. But having understood that, coming to the practical world, heaven and hell are being experienced by everyone day by day. Only that not that intensity, fortunately. Because the moment you go beyond certain limit, the nature in your body stops your nervous system. You get into a state of fainting, become unconscious. O Rama, an enlightened sage abides in the vision. I am the substratum behind this illusory world process. I am. See all the glorious things in this world, vast things. Can you come to understand that your own I am is behind everything that you are admiring, behind everything that you think it is so far out, majestic, beyond imagination. But you are behind it. For easy understanding, in your dream you have amazing dreams. You can do many things. You can go into the Himalayas. You can jump out of the Himalaya, become Garuda. But whatever you are experiencing in your dream, you are behind it. You are the I am of your dream Garuda, of your dream Himalayas, of your dream fun, whatever. Good and bad, you are behind it. Similarly, this entire world process that is experienced through many different, countless minds in different ways, is the world within the world, vast world. And that is illusions, projections, supported by your own consciousness. Your own is the absolute consciousness. And that's what you are. I am. identified with illusory I am, egoism, that I am has gotten into a mayhem. The spiritual project leads this I am from the mayhem of aham. Save this I am from the illusions created by your ego I am. Again, that's allegorical. That big I am doesn't need to be saved. You have to save yourself. Otherwise, you are being devoured by your ego I am. Section 12. This is Nirvana Prakarana Purvardha. The divine state of the sages. Sage Vasishtha continued, O Rama, the enlightened sages, though apparently existing in this world of time and space, in reality abide in the self that is non-dual, homogeneous, and the supreme reality. You are being led to understand the state of Sthita Prajna. Being enlightened is not a physical status. Your physical body follows its own rule. But your physical status does not limit your soul. In a broad way to understand, clouds do not limit the sky. The sky may become obscure to human eye, and the fault lies in the clouds. But then, basically, it is your fault to think the sky has been obstructed. The sky has never been obstructed. So that type of experience, I am the sky. Though in others' eyes, oh, your sky is all full of black clouds. Try to understand, little humor behind it. With their intellects rendered subtle by Vedantic inquiry, externally, the sages perceive Brahman as the reality behind the apparent world. This has two aspects. First, all this, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Brahman alone is real. The world is illusory. Come to next step. Aham Brahmasmi, I alone am real. This whole world process doesn't exist. It's just a dreamlike appearance. Inwardly established in the homogeneous consciousness. Homogeneous means it never changes, it is ever the same. And outwardly performing their duties without attachment. The sages neither adore life nor condemn death. For ordinary mind, it's a great blessing when you hear someone gives you the blessing, may you live long and may death be dispelled at a very big distance. When you have the enlightened view, living long means maintaining your body. That's not really a blessing. It's a big trouble. I don't want to get into that, but you imagine if you became 200-year-old. And your hair covers the whole body. What fun will you have meeting with your hundreds of grandchildren. Great. But to the masses, it's a wonderful. Try to handle it in a mature way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be joyous with grandsons, etc. But I'm just trying to make you understand what happens to you if you go on living with old body. But that's not. So it's the attainment of liberation is not like body's experience, body-based. It is not based on anything. It is a revelation of truth. It is not body-based. It is not mind-based. Not based on senses. It is based on itself, self-dependent. So neither should you adore life nor condemn death. Mind should not go after the problem of mortality. Mind should simply go after, remember the three aspects, as Hanuman has expressed. Deh buddhya sudasoham. To the extent who hold body identity, be a servant of God. Be instrumental in doing good things that will promote devotion in your own heart, in the heart of others. Jiva buddhya tvadanshaka. From the point of view of the soul, you have no limit of your spiritual growth. You grow in the image of God. You are a ray and God is like the sun. And from deepest point of view, I and you are one. And that's self-realization. Though endowed with humility and gentleness, inwardly they are more invincible and firm than Meru mountains. That again point out when we say should be firm internally. Now people make it twisted. They become physically with stiff appearance. I'm firm, so firm, people don't want to look at you. Your look should not be that. Your look should be very tender, soft petals of flowers. But reality should be firmer than mountains. That firmness has to be understood. Not a show of firmness, but the realization of internal truths. There lies a real firmness. All of you confirm this. Just as gods sport in heavenly gardens, so too these sages enjoy the bliss of the self while sporting in forests, islands, cities and villages. For them, this world is converted into a celestial garden. Buddha termed this experience as Bihar. For enlightened sages, the same world that brings so much terror, etc., is a world that is expressing the presence of God in countless ways. So at the deepest level, even before you attain the highest state of nirvana, introduce to your heart how to live your life purposefully. And there is a purpose behind your failure, behind your success. your gain and your loss. Your adversity teaches you various things. Your prosperity, of course, encourages you to develop more strengths, to do better things. So, you don't live with a sense of despair that you are living in a meaningless world, having no help, and waiting to have darker days before you. There is another point to understand. We talk about Manoranjan versus Atma Vihar. Manoranjan, you live in the world to please your mind. Whatever you go after, delighting your mind. That's called Manoranjan. Your mind has become bored. So suddenly you develop the idea, somebody advises you, you develop your own idea. How can I get out of this board? No, there's a wonderful liquor house. You can hear all the sound comes from it. I'm joking, but all Manoranjan is not the same. But I'm picturing the Rajasic, Tamasic type of Manoranjan. The same Manoranjan can be Sattvic. So in sadhana, you switch your attention to that type of entertainment that allows your mind to end up with spiritual inspiration. And that becomes great art. That's called yoga karmasu kaushalam. It's great art. That you live your life and set an example for others in a way that they discover inner strengths and they are inspired to go after the revelation of who am I. Of these enlightened sages, some are great rulers. They perform their duties by subduing enemies, enhancing royal treasuries, and by promoting order and harmony among the subjects. The illustration is being given of great Janaka, the great ruler, did all the things needed for a ruler to do, and yet he was absolutely untouched. So no matter how your external role is there in the world, what status you have, money-wise, power-wise, politically, etc., the self in you remains untouched by the roles you play. You can be king, you can be sannyasi, and you may not be real sannyasi. You can be a king and you can be a real sannyasi. Even the most alluring of temptations do not affect their inward composure. They are neither distracted by heavenly gardens abounding with pleasures that delight the senses, nor are they agitated by raging battles in which the earth is strewn with dead bodies and the atmosphere is filled with the terrifying sounds of flesh-eating animals. Tatatyangar varshecha vati vapar malayanile. Same Yoga Shastra says elsewhere. Tatatyangar varshecha. If burning embers were to shower, is a terrible scene. Everything burns up. Great calamity is showering. Or gentle breeze, fragrant with sandalwood, touch blows within a nice forest. For the enlightened one, both are one and the same. And this, while describing it, we are describing in a very broad way, burning embers, etc. In experience, external world may be calm and quiet. Your nerves can give you all types of miseries, worse than burning embers and better than Malayanilam. So that point has to be understood. So in spite of whatever goes on in your nervous system, through your mind, enlightened state puts you beyond all these, just like you are dreaming. But when you come to know it is a dream, you are as if placed beyond the dream range, the dream limitation. Just as the ocean swells by the light of the moon, so too their inner consciousness blooms in the light of the self. It is a role of the moon. But moon term here relates to purified feeling. Remember in Uttarayana Marg, first we start with fire, Agni. Then we get into the sun, Jyoti. Then everyday life becomes joyous if you have Vairagya and Viveka. Vairagya is Agni, fire. Viveka is light. Agni, Jyoti, And then what comes? Shukla. Moon, the role of moon. The firmament of your heart shines with moon that goes on waxing more and more. All this is allegorical. So that process is called Ananda. That type of Ananda is not possible in worldly pleasure. They are not like the ignorant whose faces glow by the fictitious glimmering lights of eat, drink, be merry. Just as green forests are not affected by hot winds of summer, so too, with the realization of the everlasting greenery of the self, a sage is not affected by the adversities of the world, nor are they elated by the pleasures of the world, which are like dewdrops decking the trees of their personalities. O Rama, emulate their example and abide in the self. Though perceiving the changing process of the world, become steady within yourself, even like a mountain in the midst of the surging ocean. All these are clear. O Rama, the world that consists of numerous objects is illusory. It's like a dream. And that point has to be understood for a spiritual aspirant, because all you are experiencing is based on your mind, your brain, your nervous system. No matter how intelligent you are, how can you stay confined to this understanding that this is me and may I just live on and on? All your experiences are nerve titillations, and like experience that you get through your iPad. But this statement is not made to make you feel desolate miserable. No. It's meant to feel you are the one whose glory expresses through all the brains, through all nervous systems. You are the sun behind all illuminations. So it is totally a positive view. O Rama, why should you grieve like the dull-witted? Why should you be agitated like the ignorant? You are the divine self. Now, what a subtle message behind this type of teaching. When we say why, it simply means if you do your sadhana, your goal is to become absolutely free of grief. Ashotya nanva shochastvam, Gita says. All you are grieving for is not worth grieving for, because you are the only reality. You are the divine self. Realize your essential nature and abide in the supreme bliss. And with this I will conclude for today and will continue tomorrow. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. And prayer for shower of Karunamaya Ras grace of God over all, and for awakening aspiration for God realization, and the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshyama Mritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.